Welcome back to our channel. Guys, today we're checking out the LeBron 21. I cannot believe that dude is all the way up to 21 signature shoes with Nike. That's incredible. But we are going to be breaking these down, looking at the performance. We'll check out the cushion, the support, the traction, all that stuff. See how the LeBron 21 plays. Then, of course, stamp it with the letter grade at the end of the video. All that's about to come up. Let's go. So like I said, guys, we were looking at the LeBron 21 today, the newest shoe to come out of his signature line with Nike brand. And the retail price is going to be up there. It's going to be looking at $200. That does line up with the LeBron 20s from last year. But I mean, $200, that's a lot for a basketball shoe. I get that. He's up to 21 pairs though. What do you expect? They got to make price jumps in there eventually. We'll leave all that retail price stuff to the side. Just know, LeBron shoe, it's going to be an expensive line. We'll go ahead and check out the appearance now. And that's something that I really do like. They kind of shifted from LeBron's line, just the way that the shoe looks in general. So if you flash back to the LeBron 19, where do I got those at? Here they are. If you flash back to the LeBron 19, they had much more of like a high top, different mold to the shoe, entirely different. That kind of like followed though. I want to say that followed a lot of what his previous line had looked like, the 11s, 12s, 13s. You look at those, he definitely had more of a mid to high top line. That's why it shocked everyone whenever he went with the LeBron 20, totally flipped that script, went to more of a low top setup. I was a huge fan. A lot of people were. This is like even a good looking casual shoe. People loved the design for the LeBron 20. I was one of them. And I actually really do like what they did with the LeBron 21 this year. They gave it a little bit of a whole, like a different setup to the upper. It's kind of like, not like carpet, but it's got this weird kind of like suede, almost more of a suede feel to the upper. That could just be on this colorway. This is maybe the freshwater colorway or something like that. Either way, like it could be more specific to this colorway, but the design, or at least the feel to the upper, has more of like a suede look. But we're talking about the appearance right now. I really love what they did to like the backside of the heel. Felt like the mold for that. Gave these a really nice design. But I mean, now we'll go ahead, like I'll just tell you right now, I like the direction that LeBron's line has gone from like an appearance standpoint. Not everybody is, because of course you're gonna, for the people that like, you know, more of a supportive feel, especially around your ankle, you may like more of that mid to high top feel. I'm surprised they don't release in that way, because for the LeBron 19s, they were at least doing like, LeBron 19s are down there. For the LeBron 19s, they were doing low top versions of those. I actually played in the LeBron 19 low. I like those a lot better than even the highs. So it's kind of sad. I get that whole point. Whenever you go start off with a low top shoe, it's unlikely they make a LeBron 21 high is what you would basically call that. But we're trying to break the shoe down. We're finally to the point where we can do that. And the first thing I always like to talk about is going to be the cushion for this shoe. As far as the makeup, they made a slight modification to the tech specs from the 20 to the 21. It's not too big of a change. You're just going to have like a Zoom Air unit in the heel. That's also going to be in the forefoot. And then they pair that with like this soft, springy foam. And that's kind of Nike's breakdown for what's going on the inside. Whenever it comes to how they play, I will say LeBron's line has been known, just through and through for being a super comfortable line. Even if you go to his budget-friendly model like the LeBron Witness, those shoes, they tend to be more comfortable than your budget-friendly shoe would be. The LeBron 21 is going to stay the same way. Like, it's going to be a super comfortable shoe to play in. That being said, I do feel like the 20s last year gave you a little bit more, your foot just like sunk in a little bit more. It was more of a memory foam type feel. And I kind of prefer that. Some people like that responsive feel. You can maybe get, a quicker first step. I will say it's going to be a comfortable shoe. You're talking about a $200 shoe. We always got to factor in the price whenever you're looking at something that high. $200, the comfort, it's still going to be it's going to be a comfortable model. I would argue these take a little bit more break-in time than the 20s did, especially the 19s. Those were super soft. Comfort, really the main thing you need to know with the LeBron 21, it's not going to be a negative, nor should it be at the price point. So we'll move on. And now looking at the materials, I mean, honestly, these are like the material to the LeBron 20 to the 21 needed to be changed, because on the LeBron 20s, that was one of my bigger knocks for them, was like the material. It was a lighter shoe. Like, I did like that. The low tops, you'd expect it to be a little bit lighter. But I mean, one of my knocks on the LeBron 20 is whatever they used for the upper just wasn't like, it wasn't sturdy enough to keep your foot in the bottle. And honestly, like, I don't weigh the most, so I know that making those harder cuts, You know, it just didn't feel like it had a lot of backing there. And they did switch up a little bit the makeup for the LeBron 21. I guess this year they reinforced that lightweight mesh with like this 360-degree zonal cabling system. That's kind of what Nike calls it. And they actually disguised it with again, what Nike calls this premium, like lightweight drapery is what they call it. Like it's supposed to give the shoe this like cloaked finish, you know, finished looking touch. Like I said, we already touched on the appearance. We touched on it plenty. I think the design is nice, but from a functionality standpoint, the upper is just much more supported this year. It feels like it, and plus that you would think that would maybe lead to less ventilation in the toe box. You'd be correct, but they thought that through. They kind of poked some holes to the sides. It's a little bit more noticeable on like the inner side of the shoe. There's going to be some room for your foot to breathe. You don't want to have any overheating. Plus you have some like mesh making up more of the tongue section. But for the materials that they used on the LeBron 21, I thought that took a big step forward, especially how it like translates to the support. And they even mentioned it specifically. I didn't actually pull it from the site, but they mentioned specifically how like this is some type of like seashell heel cage setup. The heel structure on the LeBron 21, the mold for it is super nice. You don't have any type of heel slippage and stuff like that. It's always something you want to keep your eye on whenever you're dealing with low top models. Nothing to worry about on the LeBron 21. Whenever it comes to support, that's automatically a step forward. That brings us to the traction. The traction pattern itself, whenever you're looking at it, it's going to be mostly pretty random, but the traction does play well. I will say, since we're doing this whole comparison thing, the LeBron 20s were insane because the 19s were trash. The 19 traction, they tried this like little crown logo setup on the bottom. It did not work very good in my opinion. Just collected dust too much. Didn't really stick that much. But the LeBron 20 was like nuts. Those things were squeaky on the court, fighting like crazy. The LeBron 21 is basically more along that line. Maybe not quite as good. Maybe not quite as sticky or squeaky this year. Still a super nice model. Traction's taken a huge step forward in LeBron's line just from the time that I've been able to play him, going back to, I guess it would have been the 18s. Definitely seen some improvements across his line. The cushion's always been there, but I mean, really, traction's a spot that you're gonna want your shoe to be able to play. Doesn't collect too much dust, so I'm a big fan of that because you know, you don't want that. The grooves are somewhat deeper, so it's gonna make it a more durable model if you want to use it outdoors, but we're talking about $200. So just make sure you keep that in mind. I feel like it'll last a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe LeBron's shoe is not the one that you're going to call probably an outdoor model. But that wraps us up with the sizing. Going to be true to size on these. I mean, the LeBron 20s shifted to like more being a little bit narrow compared to the 19s. These fit about the same as the 20s. So I guess they maybe run a touch on the narrow side. Even with that being said, it's going to be a pretty true to size fit for me. If you like, I mean, you get a little bit of room left over at the end, so maybe don't go a half size up unless you want to run that risk of it kind of like rolling over at the end. But that's going to bring us to our letter grade, guys. And I'm going to stamp this with a B+. It's a very good shoe. I can't call it great, right? It's an expensive shoe, but there's just no weakness. So, I mean, B+ feels like a fair place to slot these. It's just not going to be as comfortable as the LeBron 20s whenever we're doing this whole kind of like putting a bow on it, wrapping it up, but it definitely is going to be more supportive, and that's what I was looking for. The comfort was already top notch, so I mean, if it just takes a small step back, it's still going to be a comfortable shoe. Just got to break them in. The support, they really needed that. The traction, this is just a well-rounded basketball shoe. Like I said, you'd expect that for the price point, but that's what you're going to get. So I'm a fan of these. Go out and get yourself a pair of the LeBron 21. But thank you guys for staying tuned to watch this video. Make sure you leave down in the comments, of course, what you think about the LeBron 21 and what shoes you guys want to see coming out next. But until next time, I'm Landon from Shoewear. Peace.